fucking hornet's nest out there, mate. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Go.
When PlayStation VR first launched, they released with a $40 glorified demo disc of sorts called PlayStation VR Worlds, a collection of small games and experiences showcasing a few concepts unworthy of prime time, but also a couple that begged to be fleshed out into full-length games. The best of these was the London Heist, a brilliantly told VR take on a Guy Ritchie film featuring all the action and drama you'd expect. But clocking in at around 25 minutes, it left us wanting more. A lot more. And that's exactly what Sony's London studio has delivered with PlayStation VR's newest game, Blood and Truth. More than 5 hours of action hero goodness, which keeps getting better and better the more you play it. There's no point in ruining the story for you, but suffice it to say, as elite soldier Ryan Marks, you'll be shooting bad guys by the Nathan Drake dozen. The Move controllers or the DualShock 4 are more than up to the task for either precision ADS or shooting from the hip. And as you progress through Blood and Truth's story, there are plenty of guns to unlock, not to mention a ton of customization and modification options. But there's far more here than just constant running gun action. There's also a ton of story segments featuring not only some of the best facial animations I've seen yet in VR, but also absolutely perfect voice acting. It's a gripping story, thankfully, because you'll often find yourself sitting there with nothing to interact with or items to throw, listening to characters talk to you or each other. I can only assume the lack of interaction was intentional, to keep the player in character at all times, but playing darts or flipping a lighter during these conversations would have been a nice way for us more ADD gamers to stay engaged. Fortunately, every other part of the game gives you plenty to do. Locked doors to deal with, explosives to plant, and plenty of collectibles to discover, which slows the game down just a bit, but rewards you for taking the time out to explore. But despite the collectibles, exploration isn't one of Blood and Truth's more robust features. In fact, it's virtually non-existent, thanks to the node-to-node method of locomotion. See, you never actually have full control over your character. There are pre-designated waypoints scattered around the environment, and by looking at one and tapping the move button, you'll automatically walk to it. I won't lie, I have a love-hate relationship with this method of movement. With Blood and Truth, London Studio delivered one of the most beautiful games yet on PlayStation VR, so I desperately wanted to go off the rails and see it from every possible angle, searching out every corner for secrets and collectibles. But at the same time, I understand why we got the game we got. It's basically an interactive action movie. You're supposed to keep moving forward, literally and figuratively. This isn't Resident Evil. There's no backtracking or inventory management, so taking complicated control schemes away from the player will ensure that you'll have the basics down in minutes, even if this happens to be the first PlayStation VR game you've ever played.
Look out!
And like any good action movie, this one is worth seeing through till the end. In fact, when it's all over, you'll want to play it again and again for better scores and to find every last hidden item. Unfortunately, neither the gunplay or the narrative ever gets stale. It helps that every few minutes you're in a radically different environment. From deserts and cities to casinos and art museums, you'll never get sick of looking around at each new location. Each one, of course, comes fully loaded with its own theatrical-inspired epic soundtrack, which sets the tone for every single minute of the game. And once you've beaten the game, you're able to hop from mission to mission freely, or attempt the 6 time attack challenges, offering up shooting gallery style levels that reward you for speed and accuracy. And as if this cake needed even more icing, London Studios has announced free DLC incoming, including online leaderboards, new time attack and score challenges, a new Game Plus mode, and an additional harder difficulty.
Get the others!
Blood and Truth is a VR game that redefines what AAA means, and manages to bring us a visually stunning, well-told narrative filled to the brim with exciting gameplay and all the trappings of a big-budget action movie. If you've had a PlayStation VR for a while and were wondering what the next big must-have game would be, well, it's here, and it's incredible. And if you've been holding off, waiting to buy a PlayStation VR headset until it got a universally praised must-have exclusive, Blood and Truth is the game you've been waiting for.
You're going to pay for that!
X-rays down.